Thank you for having me on, Don. My name is William A. Hartman. I'm the president, CEO of Halberd Corporation. I realize that you have some people that see your program all the time, and I don't want to bore them by repeating everything. Yet again, you have some new people, and we want to be able to bring them up to date. So I'm going to try and do both today. It's going to be a little difficult. Um, excuse me. The company started in May of 2020, and the entire industry was working on COVID, and we decided to join them. We developed an antibody, and we thought it was a good antibody, and but nobody showed any interest, and we decided that to spend the money to certify it with the FDA was just not a good investment in time. Subsequently, interestingly enough, in spite of having told my people not to work on COVID anymore, guess what happened? They got the commercial antibody that was being given to everybody as an antibody cocktail, and they found out that it was only 64% effective. And when you added our antibody to it, it became 95% effective. And we put that out in a press release, but again, no interest. So we decided fundamentally that we had to go where the big guys had failed or where there was a crying need and unfulfilled. And that's the definition of a business, to identify a need and to fulfill it. So we decided to take off and go into neurodegenerative diseases, Alzheimer's disease, for example, and PTSD. The soldiers were committing suicide at a tremendous rate after being exposed to PTSD, and we decided to pursue that. Well, we identified 11 antigens associated with neurodegenerative disease, Alzheimer's disease. And lo and behold, we were successful in eradicating all of these. Now, how do we eradicate these things? This is important. We use the word extracorporeal, and what does that mean? Well, fundamentally, we do a spinal tap and we take cerebrospinal fluid and we process it. Or we take a blood tap and we process that outside the body. Everything we do is extracorporeal. There's nothing that goes into the body. Therefore, there are zero side effects. We eradicate the disease-causing antigens and eradicate them externally, put the purified bodily fluid back in the body. Is that a filter process? No. Really, we use antibodies, we use metallic nanoparticles, and we use a laser. Now, interestingly enough, more recently, we were very successful in eradicating viruses, anti-inflammatory cytokines associated, for example, with all of the neurodegenerative diseases, bacteria, meningitis, meningitis, that kind of thing, and antibiotic resistant bacteria. We also antibiotic resistant fungi, for example, Candida auris. We were successful in eradicating that in just a matter of a couple of minutes. And this is amazing. We found nothing so far that we couldn't eradicate using our process. By the way, we have 4 issued patents and 23 now pending patents. And the latest patent I'm going to discuss in a little more detail, the latest patent pending. Basically, why is our process, again, why is it better? Because nothing goes back into the body. I love to watch these commercials at night that show a grandmotherly type in a flower garden with friends and grandchildren. And boy, if you can eradicate her skin problem, which is very minor, possible side effects, blindness, kidney failure, stroke, heart attack, or death. Other than that, it's great, the treatment. Well, we don't have any of those problems, and we thought that that was the way to go, that this will, in fact, revolutionize medicine. Again, how about the next pandemic? We found 0 mutations that are resistant to our technology. 0. So whenever the next pandemic comes along, whether it be viral or whatever, we believe we can handle that with our patented technology. Our old strategy was fundamentally identify a partner because it costs so much money to get FDA certification and a lot of time, etc. And we've developed an adjunct to that strategy. Again, we'd welcome a partner, the right partner. We're looking at combinations with gene technology. We're looking at stem cell therapy. We're looking at AI, artificial intelligence. You're going to hear more about Halberd's involvement in these areas very, very, very soon. That's all I can say. But at any rate, so we've established a global reach. We have affiliates. We have people that attend our regular weekly technology meetings in Brazil. So that's Central and South America. We have Korea, someone in Korea. Again, that representing the East, the Far East. We have someone in Europe. So Halberd is taking a global approach, and we believe that this is very, very, very significant, particularly in our attempt to go after diseases that heretofore have been called incurable or very difficult to cure. That's really where our focus is. Our latest pending patent, I think, is important to talk about that. Basically, gene replacement therapy has limitations, and for example, in some instances, the muscular dystrophy, for example, really only you can only try once, and because of internal bodily reactions to the treatment, you can't try again, or you could kill the patient. We think we have solved that problem. That's all I can say, because this is a patent pending, and it is based around our extracorporeal technology. We're also looking at offshore alignments. Well, what will that do? Well, fundamentally, possibly funding alignments that make sense to us. In fact, there's a very aggressive one just next week. We have major people from our organization going offshore to hold discussions regarding funding and an alignment that looks very, very, very promising. This is probably the most promising thing we have in going right now. We've also submitted 7 abstracts to the government, ARPA-H, that's the Advanced Research Projects Agency, Dash Health. We've submitted 7 abstracts to them, and we identified rough order of magnitude and followed the format. They did come back on a few of them with some questions. We answered those questions and submitted them. They indicated earlier that they'd be 4 to 6 weeks to respond. Of course, they missed that timetable. It's well over that now in terms of time, but that's good, I believe, because frankly, that says that they're possibly giving the, shall we say, additional consideration to some of our ideas. Halberd is an idea corporation. we're fundamentally in the biomedical arena. Any company with, by the way, with 4 issued patents and 23 pending, it says something about us. I'm going to mention a little further our work at Mississippi State University. We had developed technology and proven it in the laboratory that we could cure various neurodegenerative diseases. I mentioned Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, etc. But we're also working on an idea, Don, that is really interesting. This is a nasal spray with 3 patent pending ingredients that can stop the cascade of neurodegenerative generation of neurodegenerative diseases. Why is that important? Well, let's just take football, for example, or hockey. Someone gets their bell rung and they leave the field of play for a little while, and they can go take this nasal spray. And this nasal spray will stop the cascade of neurodegenerative diseases. We have experimentation going on at Mississippi State University for some period of time now. And these involve, shall we say, animal models. And the animal models, we're observing them at 0 days after impact. And by the way, we verified that impact created the brain damage that could generate neurodegenerative diseases. And then we're looking at 0 days, 3 days, 7 days, and 14 days. And then we're taking a group with our nasal spray and proving that, in fact, nothing happens to that group because we stopped that cascade of disastrous implications towards neurodegenerative diseases. So in other words, we not only can cure these diseases, we believe, but also now we're working to prevent them. And in football and hockey and any contact sport of any kind, soccer, it's been proven that brain damage can be induced not only by one major impact, but by a series of small impacts. Heading the ball, for example, is 20 Gs in soccer, typically. Whereas in football, it can be up to 300 Gs. But at any rate, we're working, Don, in a variety of applications, and we believe that Halberd is, in fact, vastly undervalued. And this company is, just watch this space. You're going to hear a whole lot more about us. Again, I'm dropping a very broad hint. The biggest thing we have ever done is shall we say, in motion, in just beginning next week. And, it may take a few weeks to implement, but this is a big deal for us. And we're very, very excited. We have a great team of people who give up their Friday nights. We meet every Friday night. They give up every Friday night, every weekend, no holidays. This company is really a joy to manage. And I'm just privileged and God blessed that I have the opportunity to be associated with such a team. Thank you, Don, very much.